All right, so really quick, just recapping my thoughts from previous BTC analysis and my thoughts moving forward. So we thought that the spot ETF approval would initially create some green candles. Truthfully, I thought these would head higher than what they did. I thought we'd at least get to whatever the next resistance level is, as has been the trend for the past 3 months. Regardless, the spot ETF was the top, as we kind of predicted, and then we fell back inside of the range. So upon deviating back inside of this range, we then say, you know what, it's probably just a range continuation, range high, mid range, range lows. Upon getting to these range lows, we had to lose not just 6 hour 200s, that's the one that we really care about, but also 4 hour 200s, a more local kind of high time frame trend. So high time frame trend and then lost high time frame trend thereafter. These 6 hour 200s are pretty notable because this is what initially started the rally several months ago. So the fact that we're losing them here today is definitely not a good thing. Losing those high time frame trends or those high time frame MAs does not necessarily imply that we will resume the downtrend, because the greater context is that we're still just trading in a range. So we very well could just continue heading sideways. However, the loss of those 6 hour 200s does imply that there is a greater chance of losing the range entirely. So we have to account for that as part of our analysis if we're kind of perceiving those probabilities, because losing those 6 hour 200s is something we've not done, not only just any time within the range, but any time within the past 3 months. So not a good thing. However, ETH USD is a much cleaner kind of chart in the sense that it is still threatening some high time frame bullishness. High time frame uptrend continuation. We're still trading outside of that range, so we would not be calling this a deviation. We would only call this a deviation after we fell back inside of the range. For now, it looks like a breakout, trades like a breakout, smells like a breakout. It's probably a breakout. So we want to call it for what it is. And if we're forced to come back and eat dirt, right, and bite our tongue, then we will. And we'll adapt and we'll say, you know what, it's probably a deviation. We're probably wrong. We lost the 4 hour 200s, the high time frame trend, locally. We also deviated back inside of the range, and then it's probably, that was a deviation, that was a macro top kind of thing. We can look for range resumption in the short term. ETH BTC is another interesting chart, and this is the last thing that we're going to discuss. ETH BTC is showing strength that we have not shown any time in the past year. So reclaiming 200 daily moving averages. This is the high time frame downtrend per trail for the past year or so. This is also what allowed me to say, you know what, if you're going to call bottom on Ethereum BTC, you're probably a guard dog barking at the wind. You're just barking because it's fun to bark and not because there's actually a real threat that is showing up. Well, in my opinion, this is the first real threat. So I'm going to bark now, right? It's time to bark. And if we're wrong, then it is what it is, right? We lose the 200 dailies and so on and so forth. Which, by the way, that snowball had to start somewhere. So we reclaimed those 8 hour 200s, and reclaiming those allowed for the reclaim of 200 dailies. And now the reclaim of 200 dailies and the deviation back inside of this 2.5 year long range allows us to assume that we will go to mid range and as well as range highs. So that is the analysis across the board. Hope you enjoyed. Much love. Take it easy.